We begin with a flashback of Akira's childhood, where we see the scruffy, buck-toothed little boy come to the rescue of another little boy and his puppy as they are bullied by older kids. And as the bullies run away, young Akira states his intention to be a hero who helps all in need. Back in the present, Akira wakes up from dreams of his past, and energized by it, he adds the objective of becoming a superhero to his bucket list. With Kencho sporting a new blonde look, they speak about Akira's wish to become a hero. With nothing to lose in this apocalypse, Kencho decides to indulge his friend's new adventure. They make their way to a now derelict aquarium. And as the pair roam through the ominous rooms, Akira finds an interesting outfit. Elsewhere, we see a group of survivors aboard a bus. The terrified passengers contemplate whether to remain within the temporary safety of the bus or make a run for it through the horde of zombies. Their decision is made for them as one of the passengers turns into a zombie. Chaos ensues as they scramble to save themselves. The survivors rush towards the derelict aquarium. Though most make it to safety, one girl stumbles and is chased down by an extremely fast zombie who looks to have been a track athlete before turning. Just when the fiend is about to turn the girl into a human granola bar, out appears our new hero. Akira, leaps into the fray, fearlessly confronting the zombie. And as the young man engages the fiend, Cupid fires an arrow as Shizuka runs past him. Adorned with a full suit of diving gear designed to withstand shark bites, Akira is seemingly fearless. Unfortunately, he didn't take into account that although his new armor prevents puncture, it doesn't stop the pain from crushing bites. But despite this, our dollar store hero eventually emerges victorious. As the survivors breathe a momentary sigh of relief, Kencho comforts Akira after he receives yet another rejection from Shizuka. Another zombie appears, a grotesque creature that has consumed both shark and men, and thus has become a six-legged abomination that moves with great speed on both land and in water. As all survivors flee to the safety of a room, Shizuka is shoved into the path of the creature by an hysterical young girl. Within the locked room, Akira realizes that his crush isn't among them, and so before anyone even realizes, he makes his way through the air ducts to rescue her. As Shizuka prepares to meet her ancestors, our hero appears. Even though Akira has no plan, he engages the fiend. Shizuka devises a plan to exploit the shark's weakness to electricity, and with Kencho providing a distraction, they are able to defeat the monster. With the monster subdued, all survivors head their separate ways, and as Akira triumphantly checks off the superhero part of his list, he once more asks Shizuka for her digits. This time, however, Shizuka agrees, and thus we learn that triumph will eventually come to those who gallantly persevere. It's lights out. All electricity, water, and internet access is lost. Zombies mindlessly roam the streets and corridors of the city as Akira and Kencho contemplate their next move. As the pair gaze up at the beautiful night sky, Akira nostalgically remembers his childhood in Gunma, and thus he's inspired to leave Tokyo and return to his hometown. The pair get themselves ready for a new journey to Akira's birthplace. For this long excursion, more comfort may be required. And so on their way out of the city, the duo make a final stop at an RV expo in Saitama. Upon their arrival, Cupid takes aim at Akira once more as they run into Shizuka. Though initially reluctant to join the pair, she eventually succumbs to the allure of traveling through the world in an RV that even she can't resist. Though all three have their own preferences, before a final decision can be made, the warehouse is flooded by a horde of zombies. And so as necessity makes the decision for them, they rush into the closest RV they can find and zoom out of the place. The duo is now a trio, with Kencho riding the bike, while Akira and Shizuka are comfortably inside the new RV. As they drive through empty and silent roads, they are suddenly confronted with spikes on the road. And although Kencho successfully avoids the spikes, he ends up being injured when taking evasive maneuvers. Unfortunately, the RV runs over the spikes, bursting its tires. And as the trio are left confused by the situation, a group of buses arrive, led by none other than Akira's old boss, Chief Kosugi. Kosugi offers them his help, stating that he can provide new tires and medical supplies to aid Kencho. However, in return for his assistance, he wants Akira to agree to work for him for 2 days. Desperate to aid his friend, and despite his lingering fear and past trauma, Akira reluctantly agrees to this contract. The trio join Kosugi's group, and thus find themselves amidst a whole bunch of people who seem to have befallen the same accident that they did. They watch in horror as the base includes zombies that are being used as mindless labor. Kosugi derides the zombies and even Akira, stating that just like the fiends, he too is just an instrument to be used as he sees fit. Later on, in an attempt to boost morale, Akira secretly reserves cold beers for everyone in the compound, only for Kosugi to harshly reprimand him for it. Yet when the other workers discover the cool beverages, Jabba the Hutt's retarded cousin pretends that it was his idea all along. With Akira emotionally paralyzed, the episode comes to an end with a flashback to Shizuka's past, as she reflects on the emotional abuse that she suffered from her own father. We begin with an emotional flashback showing little Shizuka who, after finding a stray puppy on her way back home, adopts and secretly nurses the little guy back to health despite being told to get rid of it by her authoritarian father. Back in the present, the emotionally manipulated Akira carries out laborious tasks for the entire group. The young man waits tables at a party thrown for Kosugi's cronies as Shizuka silently watches on, recognizing the parallels between Kosugi's dominance over Akira and her father's manipulative and callous control over her. As an old lady tries to pour Kosugi another drink, he slaps her hand away, cruelly telling her that he doesn't want to be served by an old woman. He then asks Shizuka to serve him. The young lady complies, and as she sits at the table, the lecherous Lemon continuously makes derogatory remarks at her. Akira has slumped back into the character he loathed while working in his previous job. Meanwhile, Shizuka reflects on her past. We see her father heartlessly inform her that her puppy was taken away and euthanized. And as the little girl sheds tears for the loss of her companion, her older self realizes that Kosugi uses the same control tactics on Akira that her father used on her. 3 days have come and gone. Kencho has recovered, and the comic and Shizuka inform Kosugi that they plan to leave at day's end. To their shock, the mind-controlled Akira tells his friends that he'll be staying, insisting that he owes Kosugi for saving them and giving him direction. Shizuka can stomach no more of this farce, and so she snaps at Akira, threatening to leave without him. She boldly accuses Kosugi of manipulating him and presents Akira with his notebook showing entry number 37 that states, "Tell off my jerk of a boss." Kosugi tries to guilt-trip Akira back under his control, but Shizuka's words are starting to get through to him. She asks her friend what he wants to do with his life, a question that not only empowers Akira, but also inspires everyone else in the camp. The supply truck pulls in, but unfortunately, a zombie has slipped in among the cargo. Chaos erupts. One by one, the occupants are bitten and turned as even the slave zombies break free from their chains. We see Kosugi the Slob running for his life as a pack of zombies chase him down. He clearly forgot the 3 rules of a zombie apocalypse: cardio, cardio, and more cardio. As the former manager is about to get eaten, Akira comes to his rescue. He organizes a plan with some of the workers, and as they use their trucks to trap the zombies, Akira, along with Kosugi, leap over the trucks and set off an explosion that destroys all the fiends. With the threat vanquished, the trio prepare to leave. Everyone in the camp also decides that they've paid their dues to Kosugi and it's time to head out in their own directions. And as they depart, the coward finds himself alone, begging everyone not to leave him. As the episode comes to an end, our trio are now finally back on their way towards Akira's hometown. We continue with our trio of survivors now practicing paddleboard yoga along a river. And with Akira crossing that off his list, another one of his bucket list items has been fulfilled. And with that out of the way, they continue their journey towards Akira's village. The trio soon find themselves before a broken-down refrigerated truck surrounded by zombies. Seeing this as another opportunity to be heroic, Akira adorns his shark suit once more. However, just as Temu Midoriya is about to jump in, the true hero of this scenario leaps into the fray. We see a fierce, samurai-clad warrior slash their way effortlessly through the zombies. And as the confounded and impressed trio look on, it's revealed that the new hero is a young blonde German woman who later introduces herself as Beatrix Ammerhauser. As a true fan of everything Japanese, Beatrix came to this country in hopes of fulfilling her lifelong dream of immersing herself in all things Japanese, only to find herself in the midst of a zombie outbreak. Inside the truck, they discover many coolers of fish. This is where Beatrix reveals her objective, which is to deliver them to a surviving chef in Takasaki who promised her the best authentic sushi meal. Even though they have their own path to follow, Akira's list contains the objective of eating an authentic sushi meal. And so, without much convincing, Shizuka, Kencho, and Akira agree to help Beatrix with her mission. Upon arriving in Takasaki, the group is faced with zombie-filled roads. But our heroes, with their varied skills, rise to the occasion. Akira, the Midoriya wannabe, Beatrix, our foreign samurai, Kencho, our brave jester, and Shizuka, our ever-serious general, are more than a match for these mindless creatures. With cunning, bravery, and a dollop of fire, the group eventually decimates the horde of zombies, carving a path to their destination. With that out of the way, they reach the sushi chef's restaurant. Overwhelmed by their tenacity, the chef happily creates an amazing array of dishes for them and even includes the last of his vintage sake for all to enjoy. The following day, the group discovers that the town has a hot spring. Yet another bucket list item is about to be struck off. Unfortunately, the only functioning hot spring is in the men's section, and as they argue about what to do, a multitude of zombies emerge from the water, causing them all to flee. Finding refuge atop a mountain, the group falls asleep. Akira wakes up to discover that Shizuka is missing, and as he walks through the forest in search of her, he's surprised to find a natural hot spring. With his clothes stripped off, he leaps in, only to discover a naked Shizuka. Though thoroughly embarrassed, they agree to share the hot spring, and as they bashfully sit with their backs to each other, Kencho and Beatrix appear. The episode comes to an end with all four friends and maybe future couples enjoying the hot spring together.